And then here we go. Welcome, everyone. I am super excited. We are lucky to have Arliss Dudley-Cash, coach and consultant, joining our group today to give us some awesome information about goal setting. Welcome, Arliss. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Leanne. I feel so honored.
Oh my gosh, we feel the same. Thank you. So why don't you tell our group of gals what you do and, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm a business coach and consultant, and I'm also a self-love movement leader. I have a master's degree in neuroscience and a master's in business administration, and I combine those two to support entrepreneurs in creating a firm foundation for their business and really living their true passion and expressing self-love. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
I love that. And if you gals don't know, Arliss is my business coach as well, and I just love it. So can you repeat that for our group? You are a self-lover movement. Can you give us that again? I love that.
Yeah. So a self-love movement leader. What most people don't realize is that our brains are wired for us to create more success in our personal lives and in our business when we are expressing self-love.
I love that. And that's so rare because I've worked with a lot of different business coaches, personal trainers myself, and it's always the other extreme. No pain, no gain, go hard, go home if you want it bad enough. So it's so refreshing. And I think that's what drawn me to you, to come from a history of very extreme, like grit, sort of self-suffering, to this like amazing approach of where, like you said, it's about self-love.
Absolutely. So we have a pathway in our brain called the frontal striatal pathway that we can exercise just like a muscle, which I know you totally relate to, Leanne. And we can make it faster, stronger, and more active. And that pathway is exercised by our expression of self-love and self-care. And the reason why that pathway in our brain is so critical is because it directly connects to the areas of our brain that are responsible for reward, motivation, and decision-making, which are critical in our businesses.
That's amazing. I think we're going to see if we can get you back. That's a whole like another topic, right? Like an exercise, that part of our brain to boost all those feel-good things. Amazing. But you are here today for goal setting. Our gals are going to do a jumpstart challenge for 7 days, which will lead into our 8-week Macros Made Easy group coaching collective. So I'm excited to see how we can get them fully ready to set some goals for this next 8 to 12 weeks together.
Absolutely. And I'm going to step you all through my SMART goal setting method. So I didn't come up with this method, but it is a method that I feel is tried and true. And I want to add one other aspect to it. So the first step in setting a goal is deciding how you are going to reward yourself for that goal when you complete it.
Okay.
Because we've all set goals in our lives and we've completed them. We've even smashed them out of the park. And then we go right on to the next goal without ever taking a moment to celebrate the fact that we just accomplished that goal and really rewarding ourselves for our effort. And what science has shown us is that when we do that, when we bypass the celebration and reward step, we lose motivation over time. So if you really want to stay motivated during this program with Leanne, I highly, highly recommend that every time you set a goal, you set a way that you're going to celebrate and reward yourself for that goal. So that's always step number one, because we don't want to bypass it. And sometimes if we leave it to the last step, we don't ever do it. So let's dive into what SMART goals are. So SMART goals follow this format. And SMART stands for, it's an acronym. So the S stands for specific. So what do you want to do? What goal are you setting? Get really specific around this. The more specific that you can be around your goal, the more likely you are to be able to achieve it, and the more likely you are to see if it fits the SMART goal guidelines. So get really specific. For me in business, if I'm setting a sales goal, I want to break that down into maybe a weekly sales goal instead of a monthly sales goal. Maybe I want to even identify the areas of business where I want to bring in that revenue specifically. So not just that I want to bring in that revenue, but I might look at the different income streams that I have in my business and say, I want 20% to come from this area, 50% to come from this area, so that I can get really specific. And the reason why we get really specific is because it helps us determine if our goal is measurable. And that's what the M stands for. So how will you know when you've achieved your goal? Are you going to see numbers in a spreadsheet? Are you going to see a difference in size of your body? Are you going to see a difference in energy level? Are you going to see an actual product being produced? So how is your goal measurable? And how will you know when you've achieved it? This is another pitfall that we all fall into sometimes when we set goals, is even if we've been really specific about our goal, maybe we don't look to see if it's measurable, and we already accomplished our goal and we don't even realize it, right? Or we've set a goal and it's not really measurable, and so we're not really sure if we ever accomplished it. So making sure that it's measurable makes it much more accessible to know when we've achieved that goal and when we get to celebrate and reward ourselves.
Awesome.
The next one is achievable. So is it in your power to accomplish the goal? Now, I know Leanne, and I know that she is going to support you in setting goals that are absolutely achievable for you. And I want you to really look at it realistically, every goal. So the goals that you set in Leanne's program and the goals that you set in life. If your goal that you're setting is based off another person's actions or decisions, that may not be achievable. It may not be a realistic goal. So really making sure that the goals that you're setting and that you are measuring are specific to you and are under your power to accomplish it is really important. The R stands for realistic. So can you realistically achieve it? And this can be within the time frame that you've set, right? Because that's the next thing that we're going to look at is time. Is it realistic to achieve it within the amount of time that you have? If you set a goal to learn how to run a marathon, and you've never run a day in your life, it may not be realistic to do it in a week. So take the moment to decide, is this realistic? Look at your calendar, see what other commitments you've made. Look at events that you have coming up. Look at the patterns that you've already established in your life. Look at the people that you have and the relationships that you have in your life. So taking a realistic view of a goal allows us to move away from self-sabotage. It also moves us away from feeling defeat or shame from not achieving a goal. If we are able to be really realistic, then we're able to do the last step of SMART much easier, which is timeliness, setting a timeline. When exactly do you want to accomplish this goal? I think that this is the hardest thing to get realistic about in a goal setting. Do you agree, Leanne?
I do agree. And I think especially nowadays in like an instant society where everything we expect is done in an instant, gone in an instant. I find with my clients as well that, it's always a rushed process. I want to lose this much weight in this much time. And really it's hard. Your body's going to do what your body's going to do. So I totally agree. But you know what? Nobody really points that out. So thank you for pointing that out. That's the hardest
Absolutely.
part of the SMART process.
Yeah. And all of you are so lucky to be working with Leanne because she is going to really guide you with her expertise on what is a realistic timeline. And one thing that I love about her style is that she really brings into account what's healthy for your body, what's healthy for your mental health when you're setting guidelines around your nutrition or fitness. And so that's really important. So when you're looking at the timeliness, be realistic, be gentle with yourself. Okay. You are so much more likely to be successful if you're gentle with yourself and you're tapping into that frontal striatal pathway and showing yourself love. We know as a society that negative motivation doesn't work. How do we know that? Well, if negative motivation worked, everybody would be driving down the street at exactly the speed limit. Everybody would be paying taxes on time because the threat of repercussion would be enough to keep everybody motivated to stay on those guidelines. But threats and shame and blame and negative motivation don't work. You know, as we all know, there's people that speed every day. You know, there's people that don't pay their taxes, right? So the thing that does work is to be gentle with yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and use the SMART goal setting format in a loving way. And if something around it changes, because life changes, right? Life always changes. That's the only constant in life. So if the goal becomes measurable in a different way, if it becomes a different goal, if it becomes outside your ability to accomplish it for whatever reason, if it becomes unrealistic or you need to switch the timeline, go gently into that too and have that conversation with yourself and have that conversation with your coach, Leanne.
I love that. Yeah. And I just want to also add to that, that it's not a set it and forget it. It is a constant, like you said, things change, life happens. Just because you set a SMART goal doesn't mean it's set in cement. What's the beauty of life is that we analyze and we adjust, right? We go back and see where do we need to kind of tweak. And so that's awesome. So with that being said, so gang, do you see how amazing Arliss is? Just what a beautiful energy that I was drawn to. Do you have anything coming down the pike on your end? Any events where my gals can possibly hook up with you if they want to learn more about self-love, the self-love leader movement, and just practice
Yeah,
more grace towards themselves?
absolutely. So I have the honor and the gift in my life to be a co-host on a podcast with Diana Grimion, who's another absolutely fantastic coach. And our podcast is called the Body Positivity Podcast. And January 13th, 14th, and 15th, we are hosting a New Year Love You Summit where we have over 26 speakers and workshop leaders presenting at that summit. And it's all about embracing self-love in a deeper way in the new year, and really showing ourselves love and gentleness and compassion as we move through setting those New Year's goals.
I love that. New year, love you. Yes, all my gals are getting inundated with the new year, new you, right? Transform, new year, now's the time, get back in shape, mom, mommy makeover, blah, blah, blah. And they have all this noise. So I love that in all that noise, what comes out of that is something really beautiful and different and unique, which is a new year, love you. Right? Because who says that really, right? So January 13th through the 15th. So again, it's a summit. So you're gonna have presenters, you're gonna have speakers, you're gonna have workshops. Nice. So where can they sign up and get tickets and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to send you a discount code for
Oh,
your amazing members, and you can share it
awesome.
out, and you can also share it on your social media. And that discount code will have a link to register. And just to let everyone know, we know that most people have jobs to work during the day. And so you may not make it to all the speakers and workshops. You will have access to a portal where they'll all be recorded and you can go back and watch them. So don't let the fear that you're just going to miss everything hold you back from registering, because you can go back and watch them on your own time.
Yeah, ladies, no FOMO. And I was fortunate enough to be able to attend this year's first annual summit, and it was amazing. And I can't say enough that, I mean, the world is so huge, and the breadth and depth of speakers and quality from all walks of life, different walks, experiences, sharing their stories, their insights, their strategies, just real world, real life people that you can resonate with and relate to. And that was just so amazing. It was just such a empowering event. Despite it being virtual, there was such a strong connection that I can't even really express into words. But again, there's so many speakers that there's something for everybody. You're gonna be wanting to like watch all of them because they're just so amazing. So, oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for offering us a discount code. And I will make sure they also get all the details too in like our posts and our chat.
Awesome. Thank you. Diana and I are just so grateful for everyone that participated as a speaker or as an attendee at the first annual Body Positivity Conference. And I have to plug Leanne because she was one of our speaker and panelists. She totally rocked the house, rocked the virtual stage. She totally changed lives and was amazing. And we had the pleasure of having her on as one of our first guests on the Body Positivity podcast. So go and check those out. You can still purchase the recordings of the first annual conference, and our podcast is up on Spotify and podcast.com. So check out that episode by Leanne. It will really, really inspire you.
Thank you so much. Well, we really appreciate your time, Arliss. I know that you are really busy, and thank you for sharing space with us and holding space for us today. And I am sure we'll be doing more work together in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Have a great session, everyone. Have a great progress with Leanne. She's just so powerful. You're in good hands. I love it.
And so happy New Year. New Year, love you.
Yes, New Year, love you.
I'm gonna stop.